without my accent, can you really tell that I'm Nigerian? Since you can differentiate between Nigeria and African Americans, can you tell? You want to boycott African businesses, you want to boycott African businesses, you only have such energy for black people. You don't reserve such energy for Asians and Koreans and this. If delusional was a person, it's going to be this particular set of African American folks. Go sit down.
Americans, come here. Come here. This is a message for y'all, especially my black American women. Come here. Listen. I think it's time for us to show how strong and how powerful the black American dollar is, since they don't believe us. I think it's time to boycott the braiding shops. That's what I think it's time to do. It's time to boycott the braiding shops.
I 1,000% agree. And take it a step further. Boycott all African businesses. And take it another step further. Make sure you are promoting black American businesses and you are putting money into black American businesses. They are taking this as a joke. And when you look at the black American dollar and they talk about this $1.8 trillion, the rest of the diaspora is included in that. But once you take them out, we still have a buying power of about $1.4 trillion. Show them why our dollar matters. Show them why our voices matter. They're talking about we can't boycott Lululemon. We can't boycott. Like, people are saying we haven't boycotted Target. Like, are they not paying attention to the news? Have they not seen Target's stock tumble? We are used to doing this. This is how we fight back, but they don't understand that. They don't understand a boycott because they don't understand that as a form of fighting back. So we're going to have to show them. And also, you guys keep trying to bash this lady, and she says that she hopes unity can happen. However, unity cannot happen if we are not respected. So first, we have to gain our respect. After that, we can possibly talk about unity.
First of all, I'm going to say thank you for commenting, and I will elaborate on this. You are not entirely wrong. I think we Africans need to use this opportunity and actually sit back and think of what we have done that is triggering this with our African American brothers and sisters. And you may not like me right now. You may not like the fact that I'm calling you my brother and sister, but you are. African brothers and sisters, listen. We have to take ownership of what we have done or said or made our brothers and sisters to feel that is making them say these things. What they're saying is not coming out of thin air. It has been provoked by something or their experiences. Brothers and sisters that come from the same father and mother fight. So why wouldn't we fight? But this fight is an opportunity for us to sit back and rethink, find our faults, try to find resolution, try to see how we can accommodate each other. Look, stone me if you like, but it is what it is. We need to stand on truth, put our egos aside, because they're already fighting an uphill battle. And if we, as we are fighting this uphill battle, we fight amongst each other, there is no moving forward. That is my 2 cents. He who has ears, let him hear. Oh, I'm just saying.
Pardon me, maybe I'm late to the whole issue, but am I hearing correctly? I read somewhere that African Americans are trying to boycott African businesses. Hello? Is anybody home? Because I don't understand it. African Americans or Black Americans are trying to boycott African businesses. To top my annoyance, in the comment section, a lady said it was because Africans have a mini stereotype about African Americans or Black Americans, and goes further to talk about Essence Festival Essence. I'm really not familiar with that, okay? So I might not speak on it because I don't really know much about it. That the head of whatever Essence Festival was changed. I don't know the back end story, but it sounded like they changed the Black American culture. Like they changed the Black American culture, whatever, in the past Essence Festival. Now let's take Essence Festival out of the whole equation. What I want to understand is her saying that Africans have a mini stereotype against Black Americans or African Americans. And you were going to hear me keep using the term African Americans because that's what we're addressed as, right? But I was born and bred Nigerian. I'm African, West African to the core. And I just want to speak on this. When an African leaves Africa to come to another country abroad, the last thing on their mind is stereotyping nobody. They are here to work and sweat their blood out to be able to take care of their families back home and themselves. This lady says that she's tired of people coming here and trying to take over from them. That's a problem. That's a problematic way of thinking, if you ask me. Because I sure as heck am speaking for the African community who came from Africa to this place, that the last thing we are coming to this place to do is have a beef with our distant cousins. Hello? What is happening? But my dear, rest assured, your boycott is really not going to do nothing to an African business. I'm telling you that.
Hi family, welcome back to my space. And honestly speaking, I never wanted to make this video, but the situation needs to be addressed with truth, clarity and love. I've been seeing these viral TikTok videos where some of African American brothers and sisters are calling for boycotts of African products, and as an African woman who deeply respects and loves the global family, I'm so heartbroken, but I'm also ready to talk about it. But before that, let's watch some reactional clips from TikTok.
So African Americans have decided that on August 1st, they're going to protest to boycott African businesses. African Americans, do you guys realize that Africa is a continent with 54 countries? It is impossible to boycott all of them. 54 countries with different tribes, different cultures, different fashion, different hairstyles. You guys can't even boycott Lululemon. I would really like to see that happen. I would really like to see that happen. I cannot even believe this is even happening in my time. How did we go from seeing you guys as gods to below the food chain? How? What has become of you? Who has the mighty fallen? How has the mighty fallen? You guys have fallen. You don't know who you are. You guys don't know who you are. You're trying to say you're not Africans. What? If they brought your ancestors to America during the slave Atlantic trade, where did your ancestors come from? If your ancestors were brought in America during slave trade, where did they come from? Were they living in the moon? The fact that we have to teach you guys.
So I'm hearing that August 1st, African Americans are going to be boycotting African businesses. And, you know, I hear they don't want to be called African Americans, they want to be called Black Americans. And honestly, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Like, what kind of self-hate is this? That we have to now, I mean, I know this war has been brewing for a long time between African Americans and Africans who are in America. And it's really ridiculous. And first of all, this is also the real definition of racism, because it's discrimination against the people. So basically what the white people are doing to you is what you guys are doing to us as Africans. So you want to boycott all African businesses just because somebody had a bad experience. I mean, you guys are not boycotting Lululemon. You guys are not boycotting Target. You guys are not boycotting all those businesses that you go to and they make you feel like you're a criminal. They follow you around because they think you'll steal. You're not boycotting those businesses. No, you're not. But you're going to boycott African businesses just because you had a bad experience. This is ridiculous. I mean, when you talk about the devil at work, this is the devil. This is the devil trying to come in, because at the end of the day, well, you look at me, I am Kenyan American. I am a Kenyan who has since become an American citizen. So I'm Kenyan American, but you can't even tell, you can't differentiate me from an African American or a Black American until I open my mouth and you actually hear that I have an accent. Why are we fighting against each other? Why are we united? Why are you fighting us? I mean, this is ridiculous. If the enemy is at work, the enemy comes in to steal, kill, and destroy. And that is what is happening. Like, really ridiculous. I'm not hearing of, Chinese Americans boycotting Chinese businesses, or Italian Americans boycotting Italian businesses. Why is it that African Americans want to boycott African businesses? And also the fact is, you guys are not even, why don't you go ahead and start today? Because African businesses are mostly supported by us Africans. And that's the truth. You guys, you guys eat elsewhere, shop elsewhere, do business elsewhere. Go ahead and do that. I don't think it's really going to affect African businesses. But the fact that this is happening in 2025, this is sad. Very sad. The self-hate.
So as a Black American woman, and when I mean Black American woman, I mean descendant of slaves from both sides of both my mother and my father's side. And yes, I think my great grandmother was Apache, so that was my father's grandmother. But in regards to this boycott, my understanding of it was there was a video of a woman going into an African braid shop, and all the women were yelling and arguing and screaming. Not the woman getting her hair braided, but the African ladies that were working there. And so, yes, I did see problematic comments from my people, but I also saw a lot of people talking about their concerns about the service that they had received. So my initial understanding was that there were some customer service issues, and I did see other videos of people posting the work that was done on their head, or what they asked for and what they got. But for initially, when I had saw all this start, it was that one video of that woman who went to get her hair done, and the environment was a little bit chaotic. So generally speaking, when we don't receive good service, or when the work that we receive we didn't like, generally speaking, you don't go back. You don't pay for that service anymore. Now, I only saw one video of somebody talking about boycotting on August 1st. So if anybody can find the other videos of the person that called for the boycott on August 1st, please send it to me. But most of the videos, and it could just be my algorithm that I'm seeing, is African people responding to the so-called boycott. And I can tell you some of the comments that I see. Some of the comments that I see are, go ahead and boycott now. Why wait until August 1st? I saw comments of African people saying most of their clientele are African, and they're not worried about the Black American dollar. So, problematic comment sections aside, right, of things that my people might be saying, at the end of the day, if you saw that work, or you saw certain behaviors in the braid shop that didn't look, I guess, appropriate, I think it would be important to address more so the customer service aspect, price transparency, and the ability and skill of the braider based off of maybe the person's hair thickness, their length, their texture, and what is more feasible for things to be done with that individual's hair. Because I don't think every single person, every single Black American that posted in the comment section about their concerns with the service or the work that they receive in an African braid shop I don't think they're all lying. Because my experience, I went the first time, everything was great. The second time I went, the price went up for the exact same thing I got the last time. And the braids were so tight that when it was time for me to take my braids out, my hair was falling out. So I went a third time. Not only did the price go up, But I told her the braids were too tight, so she didn't do them as tight on the third time. But one of the reasons why I stopped going to her was, one, every single time I come, you raise the price. I'm getting the exact same thing, and nothing has changed with my hair. So that's one of the reasons why I stopped going to the particular lady that I was going to, just to get some simple cornrows, because oftentimes I wear wigs. So I will braid my hair underneath and put the wig cap over it, and obviously wear my wigs however I want to wear my wigs. So I really think there needs to more so be a discussion on customer service, price, clarity when it comes to the price, and the reality of the work. But my issue is, instead of addressing the actual customer service aspect or the issues with the potential service that people may be having, the responses that I've seen, especially with me going on panels, is more so of, I went on one panel and the man was asking me, well, how do you think the Black American dollar is going to affect the Africans? They were saying most of their clientele is African. And this is my stance on it. If y'all don't need Black American dollars, then a boycott shouldn't bother you. If you guys don't need Black American dollars and we're so insignificant, and I've heard on a live panel a man yelling and screaming saying, it's the white man that let me got here. It's not you. You Black Americans don't have power and this, that, that. I mean, I've heard it on panels. And I'm just like, at this point, instead of me arguing and debating the power of the Black American dollar, it's no point in doing that. If they feel like, or if they say that Black Americans are insignificant to their business and insignificant to their livelihoods, then it's no sense in arguing with that. And everybody should just maybe just stop going to the braid shops. I mean, obviously, if you have a somebody that you trust, that you go to, then obviously, and it's working out, still keep going. But you know, all the women that I saw and I spoke to that have had issues, including myself, we just have to find alternatives. And the whole thing is, we've been braiding hair here in the United States of America before all the African immigrants got here. We've been doing it for a long time. There's somebody, if you're Black American, that you know that you're connected to, that braids hair. My cousin braids hair. My daughter braids hair. Like, my mother braids hair. It's somebody that we know, or we could learn how to do it on our own. But the whole thing is, bottom line, I'm not about to argue with people. If people don't need our support, if people don't care about our business, if we're an insignificant portion of the business or the support, then so be it. I'm not going to argue with people. And I think part of the problem is, or one of the arguments I would make, is a lot of people, immigrants, live in big cities where there's a lot of them compacted into big cities or large metropolitan areas. But the problem is that there are immigrant people, especially Africans, outside of these large metropolitan areas where they are not the majority, where it's in predominantly Black American spaces, especially where I live at. There are African businesses and foreign businesses and everything. But if every Black American stopped going, to say that that's not going to hurt their business, to me, it's just, yeah, I don't agree with that. But when I see these videos of some of these African or immigrant people saying that most of their clientele aren't even Black Americans, I don't think y'all realize that if a lot of us were like super serious about boycotting, like if the entire Black American community was super serious about it, that could potentially hurt a lot of other immigrants. And just because you're not affected, it doesn't mean that that can't affect other people. And the thing about it is, I don't understand why it's being portrayed as if Black people are just boycotting because these people are African. There's a whole history with the Black American community when it comes to every single immigrant community, whether it's the Koreans, the Chinese, the Indian people, And then some of the Africans were like, oh, they don't do this with the white man. We have done it with the white man. We have been going toe to toe with the white man for a long time. And then they'll make comments about Jordans and Lululemon and all this other stuff when a lot of us don't even buy that stuff. There's some of us that do, and there's plenty of us that don't. But it's just weird to me how it's being framed as something where we're just targeting the African community or the black communities. And I feel like it's being weaponized against us that they're black too, which we black Americans, if you're a black American and you do something, especially problematic to the whole, oh, we've come after some of our own people. I think one of the girls, I think it was with the Circle K incident and Selena Diaries. Oh, trust me. We were all calling up and calling the nursing board on that one lady that made them comments about Selena Diaries and gave Selena Diaries a problem. So I don't understand why other people think that we're just targeting them people because of their race. That's not what it is.
First of all, I'm going to say thank you for commenting, and I will elaborate on this. You are not entirely wrong. I think we Africans need to use this opportunity and actually sit back and think of what we have done that is triggering this with our African American brothers and sisters. And you may not like me right now. You may not like the fact that I'm calling you my brother and sister, but you are. African brothers and sisters, listen. We have to take ownership of what we have done or said or made our brothers and sisters to feel that is making them say these things. What they're saying is not coming out of thin air. It has been provoked by something or their experiences. Brothers and sisters that come from the same father and mother fight. So why wouldn't we fight? But this fight is an opportunity for us to sit back and rethink, find our faults, try to find resolution, try to see how we can accommodate each other. Look, stone me if you like, but it is what it is. We need to stand on truth, put our egos aside, because they're already fighting an uphill battle. And if we, as we are fighting this uphill battle, we fight amongst each other, there is no moving forward. That is my 2 cents. He who has ears, let him hear. Oh, I'm just saying.
So let me get this right. You guys want to go and boycott African stores, African restaurants, braiding shops, because you half read a post, not even a post, an article that you didn't read. And I know you didn't read it. We're going to get into that. But you half read an article that said that Africa's plans to tap into the $1.2 trillion spending power of black Americans. And you take that as Africa's trying to take our money. But you're not going to boycott McDonald's. You're not going to boycott Walmart, which are always in the hood. You're not going to boycott Gucci. You're not going to boycott Hennessy. All these things that are literally taking our money. I wouldn't even say taking. You're spending your money with, and they're not putting back into the economy of the black people. But let's get a little quick understanding of what Africa's plans are. So let's just read it. Several reports indicate a plan to leverage the significant spending power of African Americans, estimate at over $1.2 trillion to boost the African economy. And y'all want to stop there, but let's keep going. This initiative involves tapping into the diaspora's financial resources and entrepreneurial spirit through various investment summits and engagement strategies. The goal is to channel a portion of this spending power towards development projects and businesses in Africa, fostering economic growth and strengthening the ties between the continent and its diaspora. They're literally trying to keep us engaged with themselves, making it a world economy. But anyway, more detail. The 1.2 trillion figure, this refers to the collective spending power of African Americans, a significant economic force, according to Niall Celine. I don't know what that is, to be honest. Focus on diaspora engagement. African leaders and organizations are increasingly recognizing the potential of the African diaspora, particularly in the USA, as a key source of investment and development capital. Allow me to break that down. They are understanding that we spend a lot of money. And they are saying that if we, meaning them and us, spend together and build together, we will be strong. I don't think y'all realize what this is about. I don't think y'all realize what colonialism did. Africa went through colonialism. Y'all always like to say, why didn't Africans come and get us if we from Africa? Because they were dealing with colonialism. They were dealing with empirical forces taking over their resources, and they had a fight just like we had a fight against the same people. So we had a fight. And now that countries in Africa are gaining their independence, they're saying, hold up, it's not just about us. It's about us. Continental Africans and diasporic Africans. I know y'all don't want to be Africans, but we are. And they are saying if we, Africa and diaspora Africas, come together and build, we will be strong and we can repair what has been taken from us. I know y'all have low comprehension. I know that y'all have all this idea that you're American more than you're African. I know Europeans have done a number on our mentality. But what you're doing is insane. It's flat out insane. Here are people that are saying, hey, let's unify and build, and y'all went and just looked at the thing and said, nope, not us, y'all ain't taking from us. I'd rather give it to the white man. Y'all are insane. Y'all are insane. This is crazy. If you are boycotting African shops and you're not boycotting European shops, you are flat out insane. I'm not, that's the only way I can say it. All this pretendian bullshit, all this FBA bullshit, y'all are just flat out insane. Y'all are just flat out agents of European design. I'm not with it. I'm gonna go get my hair braided from the African shop this weekend. I'm not with it. I'm not with it. I'm not with canceling out someone that looks like me. I'm not with canceling out somebody that has gone through the same craziness that we've gone through, just in a different way. I'm not with it. So why don't y'all be quiet? Why don't y'all be quiet? Because our movement don't need y'all. We don't need ignorance. If y'all aren't going to educate, read a whole dang article before you move, what movement are you doing? You're moving on bullshit. Y'all are crazy. Y'all are flat out insane. Big ashe to that.
I don't know about your FYP, but lately on my FYP, I have been seeing African Americans saying on the 1st of August, they're going to boycott African businesses because they're not American. I've been seeing a lot of those videos. They believe they're not Africans. Some were even going to the extent of saying they don't have African features. And African Americans don't come for me, but there's African American behind your, is it tied to your ethnicity, your background? But you don't think you're African. I'm not saying you're African like you were born in Africa. And by the way, Africa is a continent. There's like 54 countries in there. Yeah, just putting it out there. Okay, you guys, obviously some of you don't know your roots, some of you know your roots. I am so sorry about what happened decades of years ago to you guys. Okay, I apologize on behalf of our ancestors. I apologize. But this is the thing, you're African. Sorry to be a bearer of bad news. Yeah, you're African. Like, there's African American behind your identity. Yes, you might know you were not born in Africa like we were born in Africa, but your ancestors were from Africa. I don't know. American school system. What do they teach you? Actually, you know what? Scrap that. The white people have blown all the school off. So I'm trying to like. And then some of the ladies are saying, I don't have, even men as well, I don't have African features. But some of you are traveling to Turkey to get your nose pointed because it looks too African and too... Am I bugging? Am I bugging? I'm not saying don't cancel African businesses. If you want to, by all means, but it's just the fact that you guys, I'm not saying claim African because you're not born there. You were not raised there. You don't know your background. You don't know where, I understand that, but it is still part of your identity. Are you African? Someone like me, yes, I know my background. I know where I've come from. I've come from Nigeria. I was born there. I grew up in England. My citizenship is not by birth. My children, however, their citizenship is by birth because they were born here. But are they going to go around and go, oh, I am British? Yeah, they are British because they were born here, but they're Black British, they're African British. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Am I making sense? African Americans? African Americans? Like, come on, you guys, like, stop. This is becoming ridiculous on this app. Like, come on. We're all this color. If we're this color, maybe different shades of melanin, we are one. Stop this. Stop. Africans, Americans, the heck?
Okay, so I just say some shit. Them talking about boycotting African businesses on August 1st. And why? Like, I'm not sure if y'all are aware of what's going on here in America, but like, we've got emboldened racists. We got a president who is a pedophile, a predator, and a felon, and now somehow, some way, we're, as Black Americans, we supposed to boycott African businesses. Can we handle what the fuck is really like fucking with our money in our day-to-day life first? Because like we've been boycotting Target, Walmart, all these other different conglomerates that's been supporting MAGA, but somebody please help me make this make sense of why we would be boycotting African businesses. Like, why? So let me tell you why I won't be participating in this boycott. Firstly, because of the fact that, like, as a Black American who had to fight tooth and nail to figure out our lineage, firstly, I've traced my family's lineage back to the 1700s. Like, so I know a pretty full spectrum or picture of what my ancestors were doing here in America, and tracing it back to the point where I figured out that our family was some of the first slaves here in Virginia and North Carolina. And then I went even a step further as to get a DNA swab and finding out that good majority of my DNA is African. So there's that part. Like, huge portion of it, like Nigerian, Congo, like the Ivory Coast, like literally Benin, like all these different places, Ghana, like Ghana, all these different African countries are within my blood, which lets me know, okay, like my ancestors were probably illegally brought here, or either they were already here on ground before Mr. Columbus said he came here first. Jokes. Anyway, but please help me understand why it is that people continue to peddle this narrative that Africans don't like us and they hate us, when there's a few people that I've met that did not care for Black folks, but it's just like a lot of individuals within this country, particularly other races, people who are part of the POC kind of collective. What I've noticed is that there are machines that are, consistently rotating, aka media machines, aka propaganda. Within this country, there has been historical documentation of how our government tries to spin a story and spin a narrative to isolate certain groups of people, particularly Black folks. And it's no mistake that this is happening amidst everything else that's going on. So you mean to tell me that you want me as Black Americans to divest my money and not spend it with people that look like me? When, mind you, I've been doing everything in my power to make sure that my money is flowing within our community. So now you want me, as someone who has DNA within my body that is African, you want me to say, oh, I'm not going to spend my money with African folks just because of certain situations where they believe this propaganda that was peddled, because maybe they just don't know any better. Because a lot of times the control of media, what's being sent to Africa is not the truth. So a lot of times people have these ideas and have these concepts about what they believe about us based off of white hands. There's white hands behind these narratives and these stories. It happened within the Black nationalist movement, the Black Panther movement. You had literally the FBI literally creating, had cartoonists creating propaganda that was supposedly from the Black Panthers, imagery of them shooting cops or pigs that were meant to look like cops. Like, this is historical. So it just does not make sense to me how so many people are legitimately getting behind this concept based off of their displeasure with things that are out of their control. The best thing that you can do is work on building better relationships with African folks that are here in the States. Maybe carry your ass on a fucking plane and go visit some of these countries and decide for yourself, do they really hate Black Americans? Because from what I've experienced, I have yet to go to Africa, and I'm planning a trip to go to Africa, and I'll let y'all fucking know. If y'all want to help me get to Africa, like this, share this, let some other people know the fact that, like, I literally was watching something yesterday. It was a YouTuber, and maybe I tag him in here or something like that, but he literally was like, I don't like the way that they're painting a picture of Burkina Faso. And he literally went and took a trip to Burkina Faso to see what it was really like, to see what the people were like. I think that a lot of individuals need to stop believing what everybody is fucking saying and take the time to actually do an investigation and say, well, maybe this perspective that I've had for all this time might have been coming from a narrative that was meant to keep us separate. Maybe, just maybe, it was meant to keep us away from us getting together as Black folks on a global diasporic level. Maybe. But maybe I'm making too much sense. I don't know.
So I am here in my backyard and watching TikTok, and this For You page, there's this lady that started this nonsense trend that said August 1st or 2nd, they're gonna boycott African hair braiding stuff. I wanna know the lady reason. Like, what make you think that you will sit with your own precious time, make this video and talking nonsense? Like, who hurt you? I want to know your reason, because I know this video is not for all African America, aka Black America, because I know some of them, they are too busy with their lives, too busy with work, family, improving the city they are living, improving the community they are living, improving the state they are living. They are too busy going to school, too busy with family, so they do not have time to sit down, use their precious time and record and do nonsense. No, they do not. But you, the lady that choose to spend your time doing a video record to banish your own fellow African skin, your Black lady, Black making for what? Why you there? You keep the same energy to boycott anything that is not benefits your neighborhood, anything that is not benefits your city, anything that is not benefits the people that look like you. Make sure you boycott the Papi store, make sure you boycott the Chinese store, make sure you boycott the liquor store. Yeah, become an advocate. That's the new job me I have dashed you now. Use your time wisely, because this one you are using, it doesn't make no sense. And while you there, the lady that started this trend, make sure you stay away from us, all 54 countries, from Sierra Leone to Egypt, from Morocco to Ghana, for all kind of north, east, south and west, all part of 54 countries of Africa. Stay away from me, including the food, the clothes, the hairstyle, everything. Stay away from me, especially you that started this nonsense. And therefore, my reasonable, hardworking, intelligent, succulent, all above African America, please think before you join this lady for this nonsense. Please think, because I know you guys are busy. Please make a video and advise your sister, because this doesn't make no sense. Divided we fall, united we stand. I don't ever see an Asian do it. I never see a Mexican do it against another Spanish country or Brazil. I never see white do it against England. like whites against whites. I never see none of them. So you that look like me, or maybe blacker than me, or maybe with your ring flitter, stop this madness. This madness doesn't make no sense to you. I am here in my backyard chilling, like I said, but I am so pissed. Like, why are you wasting your precious time on nonsense thing again? Okay, girl, have a nice day.
Now, let me be fair. I've listened to what many of them are saying. This isn't coming out of nowhere. They are angry, they are tired, some feel disrespected by African behaviors, especially online, who mock their culture, deny their pain, or refuse to acknowledge their legacy in global black struggle because they are saying things like this. African don't claim us. Y'all call us akatas, like we are less than. You benefit from our movement, but don't stand with us. You laugh at us, judge us, and still expect support. Some even brought up how African immigrants in the West sometimes look down on African Americans, try to separate themselves, or fail to stand in solidarity. These are real feelings, real experiences, and I'm not here to deny anyone's pain. Now, here's the truth. Boycotting African products is not the solution. It's not justice. It's misplaced retaliation. Because when you boycott African shea butter, cocoa, fabric, black soap, music, or food, you are not hurting some random strangers on the internet who offended you. You are hurting farmers in Ghana, mothers in Nigeria, entrepreneurs in Kenya, tailors in Senegal, vendors in South Africa. Black people, your own people, trying to survive just like you. One ignorant African on TikTok should not be a reason a whole continent gets punished. We cannot let individual ignorance destroy a global black family, because what you are doing is exactly what the system wants. For us to hate each other, mistrust each other, and disconnect from our roots. That's exactly what the system wants. We are all descendants of Mother Africa. No matter how far we have been taken, no matter how long we've been apart. Whether you are in Atlanta or Accra, Baltimore or Bamako, we are one blood. We are connected by more than geography. We are connected by spirit, struggle, and survival. Our ancestors were stolen here from Africa, scattered and broken apart. But the fact that we are still here, still rising, still trying to find each other, that's power, that's legacy. To my African Americans, you are not outsiders. You are not visitors to Africa. You are Africans, and just like family, we might fight, we may fall out, but we can't abandon each other. We need each other. From me to you, from Kenya, I Mercy Realities, I want to apologize for the way Africans may have hurt or disrespected you. I won't make excuses for ignorance or pride. I've seen the comments, I've seen the mockery online, and it hurts me. Because I know it drives a deeper wedge between us. You try to keep quiet from some utterances and behaviors from some Africans, and I salute you for that. Please don't use that pain to punish millions who have never wronged you, who in fact admire and honor you and understand your struggle like me here. We need your support and vice versa. Some of us have cried with you, marched with you, learned from your movement, been inspired by your resistance. We know what you've been through. We need you and you need us too. This is not time for division. This is time for reconnection, for dialogue, for healing, for Pan-Africanism. The system of white supremacy, colonization, and capitalism has always tried to keep us apart. They don't fear black people. They fear a united black people. So, don't fall into the trap. Don't let pain become poison. Let it push us into truth and transformation. If you've been disrespected by Africans, speak up, educate, demand respect. But don't destroy the bridge back home because of a few people who don't know better. Let's build, let's heal, let's move forward. August 1st should not be a day of boycotts. Let it be a day of rebuilding, of reconnecting with who we are and where we come from. Africa is yours, and you are Africa, and the world is waiting for us to rise together because we are the future of the world. So, if this message speaks to you, share it, drop your thoughts in the comment section. Let's have a real conversation, because Mercy Realities is all about facing truth, even when it's uncomfortable. Thank you for watching.